should the general public, right, not be surprised? Because since they fought, Dustin's the guy that's been in there with the better fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin's the guy that's been active and competing. Dustin's the guy that has fought Eddie Alvarez twice. He's fought Max Holloway. He's fought Justin Gaethje. He's fought Khabib. He's the guy with the experience, right? But we understand that with the star power that kind of brings, you almost kind of like forget that, hey, Poirier probably should have been the guy that was favored.
You know, when this fight was first announced, we talked about how the mainstream, the casual media, the casual sports fan were like, what? This fight happened 6.5 years ago. Conor beat him in a minute 46. Why are they doing this? This makes no sense. It's a tomato can. It's a cupcake. We said it on this show, and everyone wants to forget. We said Dustin Poirier is being disrespected. He is way better than people are saying he is. DC, look at this lineup of fights since his knockout loss to Michael Johnson. Jim Miller beat him. Eddie Alvarez, no contest. We know what happened there. Anthony Pettis beat him. Gaethje beat him. Eddie Alvarez beat him. Max Holloway beat him. Lost to Khabib, the greatest of all time. Dan Hooker beat him. Conor McGregor beat him. Like, that's a murderer's row.
It's insane what the kid's done.
To suggest that this was a bad loss by Conor, that he lost to a lesser fighter, is absurd. To suggest that Dustin Poirier couldn't beat. Now, I see a lot of people saying to me, you said Conor McGregor was underrated. That what happened on Saturday doesn't change my stance on the body of his entire career. Like the work that he has put in and his skills doesn't change. Dustin Poirier might just be the second best lightweight behind Khabib and the best active lightweight on the planet. This was a really good guy. This is an amazing guy who deserves respect.
I think Dustin Poirier is easily the only guy. The only guy ahead of him is Khabib. And I think that Justin Gaethje today could be, it's a tough fight because that first fight was very close.
But he finished him.
He did finish him, but he took a lot of damage with the low leg kicks in that fight against Gaethje, So like Gaethje today is very tough. And that's one thing I don't want people to do. Write off Justin Gaethje because he got beat up by Khabib Nurmagomedov. That doesn't change who Justin Gaethje is, right? Khabib just beats everybody like that. Case in point, look at what Dustin Poirier has done since losing to Khabib in the fashion that he did. So let's not write off Justin Gaethje because the last visual we have of him is him getting beat. He is still very viable and he's still as dangerous as any of these guys in the lightweight division. But I wasn't counting Dustin out. I even got that at times, right? So it's like you can't win with people because people are going to form their own opinions, and it does not matter what you or I say or do. People are going to interpret it whatever they want. Like someone said, because I celebrated for Dustin, I hate Conor. Why? I don't find joy in a guy losing. That's not like I've lost. I hate it. I've seen my friends lose. You hate it. So you understand what's happening on the other side. For me, I love the sport, but I hate the thrill and the agony because one side's so happy, the other's. I hated seeing that dude go to his wife and her crying, pregnant. That sucks. But the reality is,
sorry to interrupt, but what about Dustin saying to you guys? I believe he said it. I hate this, right?
Dustin told me, he goes, I don't enjoy fighting anymore, but I want to secure a life.
Does that concern you?
With him. No, he goes, I don't like this, but I'm a dog, right? He's like, I'm a dog out here. Like, I am a dog out here. And he's like, it is what it is. He going to fight when he gets in there. And I said that last week. I said, look, man, I'm not going to say he's going to win, but every time he goes out there, he's going to fight you as hard as he can, right? Because I know what the kid's made of. But, the reality is Conor got beat by the guy that's been active, that's been competing, that probably should have been the favorite. And I saw something yesterday on the plane that they did they put the odds for the third fight if they do it, and Conor's the favorite again. I just don't understand how anything in what happened Saturday would make people think that he should be the favorite going into a third fight.
Look, after
he has shown an ability to adjust, though, right?
Sure.
When he's had problems with things, he's come back and showed that he's gotten better and he's improved in those areas. But
no, there's a strong case to be made there. But after the fight, he did mention the inactivity, and he said that he had only fought a collective 40 seconds dating back to the Khabib fight. Obviously, that's going to affect you. First time cutting to one.
How long was he away before Khabib?
Yeah, that was Eddie. Well, he had the Floyd fight in between in 2017.
Yeah,
but
that's not fighting for mixed martial arts.
But hey, how about after? Great fight, and part of the storyline going into the fight all week was, we need the old Conor back. We need the trash talking Conor, all this stuff. They were buddy, and Iaquinta was saying, too much kumbaya and all this stuff. But I have to say, I don't know if ultimately he needs that, and maybe we'll see what it's like in the next fight for him. But I will say, man, the way he handled it, you know, it reminded me a lot of the first Diaz fight. It was
He's always done that. It's always been Conor.
Even the love between them after backstage, that clip by BT Sport. I love that stuff. I'm a sucker. Maybe it's just me getting older. You don't like it?
You're tripping.
I'm tripping.
I mean, yeah, you're tripping.
You want bad blood?
Listen. I love gracious in defeat, right? When
Yeah.
you see a guy, you shake his hand, tell him good job. When I see Stipe Miocic next time, I'm gonna shake his hand and tell him, hey, man, I'm gonna say, Stipe, dude, no disrespect. You're the man.
Yeah.
You beat me twice, right? You did your thing. You got better. You improved and you got better. But in that moment, I'm upset and you know, but the buildup, I truly believe that some people need that edge. Do I think he needs to go as far as he went with the Khabib fight? No, that was too far. But I think some of those guys need that edge a little bit, man. Like, and I think that for McGregor, he's showing a maturity about him that he may not have had before. But I think that some of these guys need that edge. Like, you know, I know Jones got in a lot of trouble for the things that he did. He said to me one time, I beat you after a weekend of cocaine or whatever, you know. And people are like, oh, that's so crazy. But I think when a guy's living so crazy like that, at times it like allows him to be so free inside that fight, right? And I think that for Conor, he was so loose in the buildup that it allowed him to just be so free. And I felt like walking out there, he looked like himself, right? But you could see a little bit less of that McGregor swagger as he walked to the octagon. And I don't care what you say. Anybody that watched the fight could see it, right? He just didn't seem, he just didn't seem like the same guy. Like, and I think that maybe the maturity, it makes you mature inside of your life, but you also mature inside your mind and in the fight, because those things that maybe didn't worry you before because you just were so fuzzy that you didn't care. Now that there's not that fuzz to block out all the nervous emotion. And now you see everything.
The old Conor back. You want
not even just Conor, man. I would advise a lot of those guys that went to the top of the mountain with that type of style. You can't truly just eliminate it all. You just can't. I'm sorry. I just think that you have to continue and have a little bit of that like Rogan used to always say that. He's a wild man. He's a wild man. He's a wild man in the cage. He's a wild man outside. And I think sometimes that lends itself to each other. And I think that.
Does this go back to Marvin Hagler?
Marvin Hagler, yeah.
It's hard to wake up when you're sleeping in satin sheets.
That's another thing, right? Like, does Conor have the motivation to go back and become the guy that competed at the level that he did all those times, right? Like, seeing a young man mature is not a bad thing, Ariel. Let's not make it seem that way. But this is a sport where a lot of times the bandits win. You know, sometimes the bad guy wins in mixed martial arts. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. And Dustin Poirier is a good guy. And he's one of the good guys that wins. But I think for certain guys, man, they got to have that edge. They just need it.